Live here today to talk to you about communication strategies. So, I wanted to just dive in for about 30 minutes. I've been giving you tips all week on different communication strategies, and this whole month is about communication. These are mostly for work, but you can also use them in your personal life. And I can honestly tell you that I took a class a long time ago before I got married. Did the right way and they may not be. Now, we all know that if you put capital letters, that pretty much means, uh-oh, not good. But if you are communicating, keep in mind that the key to communication is how people interpret the communication. So, do you remember when you were little and you played the telephone game and you went around the room? I did it in Girl Scouts or campfires where you went around and you whispered and it went around the campfire, or you went around the room at school, some way, some shape and form. The second thing that I'm going to tell you is to really understand who it is you're talking to. So, for example, if I'm talking to my son or my child, it's a little different of a conversation versus if it's my partner or spouse, versus if it's a girlfriend, versus if it's a boss, or if it's an executive, or I'm talking to you and trying to give you tools. The communication is a bit different. So, for example, if I'm talking to them, and it's kind of like that telephone game where everybody interprets it differently. You told me the sky is blue, but I'm coming across that the sky is blue and I've got cumulus clouds, so it's a little not so bright outside. And somebody else in the room could come across and say, yeah, the sky is blue, but I see this dark gray cloud coming across. So the interpretation of what it is that you've said comes across differently. So many times, right frame of mind. So when I'm having a conversation with my manager, especially if it's about my promotion, my performance, or an intense or a deep project that we're working on, I want to make sure that my manager, supervisor, executive has the right time to listen to what it is that I'm saying. Many times people are going in their minds 50 miles an hour and they're not hearing what it is that you're even saying. So you really want to make sure they focus on that conversation. That's when you should have it. Another one is your verbal communication. So when I'm sitting here, I'm looking around, I'm fidgeting with my hair, I'm looking at the floor. Does that tell me that you're focused? No, not at all. I don't even know that you're focused. All I'm seeing when I'm telling you this is that you are not interested. The wall behind them or something behind them. So at least they realize that you're looking at them and you're active and you're interested. The other is to make sure that you're relaxed and that your body language is good and that your verbal cues are good and they are engaged in the conversation. If you find you're having this conversation with somebody and they're not listening, lean in and say, hey, it doesn't look to me like you're really, I'm thinking about it. So I'm thinking about what you just said, or I'm writing it down to try to make sure that it's going into my brain, that I'm processing it, and then I can come back. And many times I've said, I'm silent right now because I'm processing. So give me a moment to absorb this. Or what I'll do is rather than just put in 50 million fillers in the conversation, I'll tell the person, I heard what you said. I need to constantly busy. Your head is moving so fast that you aren't listening to what it is I'm saying. And I sat back, and this was a long time ago, but I sat back and I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I need to listen more. So I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to listen. And it's a huge, huge part of communication. So take these words. Hopefully this helps you in your career and in your communication.